Morning is today is the day we celebrate Lama Tsongkhapa. So we just think of what that means. We think that just for this 30 minutes, we'll not even sure what we'll do, but we'll work something out. It's Lama Tsongkhapa is this holy being, 14th century, who is like our, if you know, he's like our patron saint. He's our lineage Lama. Our teachings, the Gelugpas, stem from Tsongkhapa. So yeah. So I think also he's got a very strong connection with the Buddha Manjushri. So I thought this morning we might just do a simple kind of visualization meditation on Manjushri. So there's three essential qualities. They talk about how there's three essential qualities of an enlightened person, which is our potential, the qualities of the mind and the potential of our mind. And those three, the essence of all the good qualities, the essence of them, are because this set sense, this is like our meditation, okay? Thinking we're doing this to think about this meaning so we can become Manjushri, so we can become Tsongkhapa, because that's our potential for the sake of every single sentient being. So the three essential qualities, just think about. First, because the primordial misconception of a concrete self has been completely eliminated. First, one of the results of that, which sounds so extraordinary to us, is that there's no longer a separate sense of self. This is hard to imagine this, because for the Buddha, mind is, clear, sees everything as it exists, is vast. And so one of the consequences of ridding the mind of that misconception is that we have compassion, empathy, infinite connectedness. Just think of it experientially with every single being, as if they were us. This is what it would be like. Our consciousness is vast. So the first quality is extraordinary empathy, compassion, which is to continuously be of benefit to others. There's no choice about it. And that incorporates, if you think, all the positive qualities. Compassion is defined as this: you see suffering and you don't want it to happen. Oh my God, look at that suffering. But this particular compassion, this is compassion, is what they call great compassion. It's like, it's my job. What can I do to fix it? That's the compassion of the Buddhas. It's spontaneous and continuous. And it incorporates love and all the others. Love is the wish to make others happy. So the first consequence of ridding the mind of this primordial misconception, the root of our problems, is there's no longer a separate sense of self. It's as if you're everybody. It's as if they're all you. The second characteristic of a Buddha, which is our potential, is therefore wisdom. There are no longer obscurations, there are no longer fantasies about what things are. Right now, just think, observe this. Right now, because we have this ego grasping, this misconception, it causes us to then have attachment, which over-exaggerates the delicious the delicious qualities of things and people, and we crave to have them, but we're not seeing them clearly. And then that causes us to get upset and irritated and frustrated and annoyed and angry and despairing and depressed when attachment doesn't get what it wants. So we see, when we see the world through these lenses, we see everything in terms of our own needs. It's an utterly self-centered way to see the universe. That's just normal life. But this is gone. This delusion is gone now. So there's nothing obscuring us from seeing everything as it is. This is the function of our mind. This is the natural function of consciousness, is to cognize that which exists as it exists without mistake. So then a Buddha has that quality, wisdom. So specifically, to see minds of others, to see them crystal clear, to know exactly the karma of every being, to know exactly what they need, how to help them for as long as time exists. This is wisdom. So the compassion, which is manifest as Chen Reisig, compassionate-eyed one, is the wish to benefit others. But the wisdom to know how, that's Manjushri. Manju, Sanskrit, gentle voice. Shri is like Lord. In Tibetan, Jamyang. The wisdom to see how perfectly to benefit each sentient being. Precisely. That's Manjushri. And the third quality, compassion to want to help others, the wisdom to know how, and then the power to do so, the ability, power. This is often manifested as a wrathful Buddha, Vajrapani, but also that's Tara. Power, action, success, cut through the obstacles, make things happen. So all of these, if we think in our life, ordinary levels of these, we need these. So these are perfected when we're Buddha. So Manjushri, Manju, that's, so Tsongkhapa for us, you know, his particular connection is with Manjushri. It is said that Tsongkhapa received all his teachings directly from Manjushri. In other words, he had access to his own subtle mind, so he could see Manjushri in this subtle form, not the form of a monk, the way Buddha manifests as Shakyamuni, that's the form we can all see. But there's a subtler form of the Buddha, which is depicted in all the, in Tantra, in all the different Buddhas, these blissful light bodies. So we just visualize, just imagine Manjushri, gentle voice. Orange, she's in the Bodhisattva aspect. All these Buddhas are in the Bodhisattva aspect, which means radiant light body in the sky in front. Blissful face. And we're thinking if we know anything about Tsongkhapa, but of course we think that he is Manjushri manifesting. And if we have a spiritual teacher, guru in Tibetan, in Sanskrit, a person heavy with qualities, Lama in Tibetan. Lama Yeshe would sometimes say that meant high mother, because ma is the female ending in Tibetan. It's not actually a female word, but it's Lama. La seems to be high or something, I'm not sure. Lama, our spiritual teacher. So imagine it's their mind manifesting, and Tsongkhapa and our Lama, and manifesting as Manjushri in the sky in front. Radiant light body, orange body. Very blissful. The silken clothes, where you see the images, the Bodhisattva style. And he's holding a sword aloft in his right hand with a tip of fire, and it cuts through all the nonsense, all the ignorance, all the delusions, cutting through with this fire sword of wisdom. Hang on a minute, it's looking for something. And so first, no, we start again. So with the visualization, we'll do it nicely, sorry. So visualize manifesting in the sky a lotus and a moon seed. A lotus, there's a lotus, a multicolored lotus, and on the lotus is a moon seed. It's like a flat disc. Imagine this in the sky. And on this is the orange syllable, the essence. All these Buddhas have mantras, these Sanskrit sounds. And the essence of each one of them is usually the last syllable, and it's called the seed syllable. So this one is D. I mean, in English, you know, in Roman letters, it's D-H-I-H. If you know the Sanskrit or Tibetan, great. D. And so you visualize light coming from this D on the lotus, on the moon, in the sky. And from this D, infinite light rays go out in all the directions of the universe. You visualize this, imagine it. And on each light ray, there are blissfully beautiful objects, all the most marvelous things of the universe, things that you want to offer to all the Buddhas and all the Bodhisattvas throughout space, just marvelous things, on each light ray, throughout the 10 directions, lights going out from this D to above, below, behind, to the sides, goes out and you make offerings. This you visualize offerings, all the most blissful things of the universe going out, offering to all the holy beings. Imagine this. Delight in this. And they're also happy. You visualize. Lama Zopa says that the real meaning of the word, the essential meaning of the word offer, or in Sanskrit puja, or in Tibetan chur, is when you offer something, you imagine all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the universe experiencing the joy of receiving these offerings. That's in Tantra, that's the actual essential meaning of the word to offer. You imagine them experiencing the bliss, the joy of receiving all these marvelous things. Makes the mind so happy. You think it makes your mind so happy. Imagine this. So again, you see the light rays going out from this D. And it touches now all the suffering sentient beings of the entire universe. The light goes out and touches them. Every single sentient being in all the realms of existence. As many as you can imagine. And this light now blesses each one, blesses every single one, touching each one and taking away all their suffering and the causes of their suffering. All the suffering right now, the suffering of sentient beings and the causes of their suffering, eliminating all of that, this light. And now you imagine they all turn into Manjushri, the orange light bodies, multicolored lotus with a moon disk on it. And they're each holding this sword aloft with a tip of fire. Blissful in this aspect, the Bodhisattva aspect. And now all these Manjushris absorb back into the D in the sky in front of you. And now this D transforms into Manjushri. Again, radiant light body in the Bodhisattva aspect. Orange. With one face, 2 arms. And his right hand is brandishing this sword of wisdom and this just up high. Imagine, tip of fire on the sword. And at his heart, imagine at his heart, between his thumb and ring finger of his left hand, he holds the stem of an upala flower, a lotus, an upala lotus. And upon its petals, in full bloom, by his left ear, rests a volume of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, all the teachings, all the wisdom teachings of the Buddha. Prajnaparamita. Imagine this. Thinking he is Tsongkhapa. He is our Lama. Same thing. Because when we understand what the Dharmakaya is the Sanskrit word that's referring to pure, unmanifest, all-knowing, all-compassionate, all-powerful consciousness. That's the meaning of Buddha, and that's our potential. So that's manifesting throughout the universe. There's just one of those. You can't have more than one of those. It just pervades the universe. There's no duality. So there's one Dharmakaya, but there are trillions of manifestations, each in the form that's suitable to the sentient beings that need helping. So our Lama, Tsongkhapa, and Tsongkhapa are oneness with Manjushri, are manifesting in the sky as Manjushri. Manjushri is like this generic image, an idea of wisdom, and then you put a personal face on it. Then it becomes personal for you. So we think of Tsongkhapa, this our lineage Lama, this amazing being whose teachings we study, and our own present teacher manifesting as Manjushri. And he's sitting in the Vajra posture, with his right leg in front of the left on his in full lotus. And he's adorned with all the precious ornaments in the Bodhisattva style on his head and ears and throat and shoulders, as well as, on his ankle, bracelets and things. You see it in the pictures. He's got, his hair is tied up in the 5 knots. Very blissful looking, beautiful smile. And there's light rays radiating out from his body. Everything's made of light, nothing is substantial. And now you think at his throat, at his brow, there's a white Om. At his throat, a red R. Just you visualize the Roman letters. And at his heart, a blue Hung. White Om, red R, blue Hung. So now we invite, what's it called? We invite all the wisdom beings to come and absorb into this visualization. That means we imagine from the Hung at Manjushri's heart, rays of light go out that invites all the actual Manjushris from the universe, all the actual Buddhas from the universe. And then the energy, all the energy of all these Manjushris is hooked by that light, and then that light returns and comes back into the Manjushri in front of us, making him the manifestation of all the Manjushris in the universe. So powerful, so blissful. And thinking it is Lama Manjushri. When we say Lama Manjushri, Guru Manjushri, it means our teacher, oneness with Manjushri. Same thing, no separation. That makes it so personal for us. So there's just this little prayer here. I'll just say that it's a praise. There are different kinds of prayers. Some are just praising the qualities. Some are like aspirations. This is just a praise. So I bow to you, your youthful form, O Manjushri. They say all the Buddhas are in the aspect of youth, dynamic and graceful, beautiful and young, beautiful. You repose upon the full moon as your cushion. At the center of an expansive milk white lotus. I bow to your speech, O mighty fulfiller of wishes, so mellifluent to the minds of countless sentient beings. And each completely in accord with exactly what the listener needs. That's the quality of wisdom. Whatever the sound is that comes from the mouth of a Buddha is beneficial to whoever hears it in the way they need. I bow to your mind, which knows all objects of knowledge. So I didn't have the mantra up on the screen. So if you don't know it, then just do your best. But I'll say the mantra to you, and then we'll just try and hear it. If you know it, that's great. And you imagine, as we say the mantra, that it increases our wisdom to explain things, our wisdom to be clear about the teachings, our wisdom to listen, to think about, and to meditate on all the teachings so we can realize them. So the mantra is Om, A, Ra, Pa, Tsa, Na, Di. Om, Ra, Pa, Tsa, Na. That's the first bit. And then the last one is D. So if you can remember it, I should have written it down for you. Just say the mantra a few times, visualizing it, filling you with this wisdom, clarifying everything, fixing up your mind, Om, Ra, Pa, Tsa, Na, Di. Just hear it. Omarapatsana di, 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 Omarapatsana di. Filling you completely with wisdom. Imagine this, want this. So now we'll just say one time, and then what you do now, you hold the last one you say, when you say the D, you hold your breath. See if you can do this. You say it, and then I'll say it and you repeat, you do it after me. You say the mantra, and then the last syllable, you say it many, many times, very sharply, very brightly, very clearly. And you're visualizing like your ego grasping is like a little rock at your heart. And then when you finish on the one breath, those D's, you swallow it, and you imagine it smashes your ego grasping, smashes your delusion, brings you wisdom, brings you bliss. Omarapatsana, Omarapatsana, full of wisdom, your own wisdom manifesting. It's not someone else's wisdom. Manjushri shows us, that's all, what our wisdom is. He's not separate. He's showing us what our wisdom is like. How do we get our wisdom? And wisdom is at every level. Wisdom is common sense. Wisdom can be the most high wisdom that understands reality. Wisdom is just being sensible. And what blocks our wisdom is our delusions, is our attachment, the sense of a separate me, the attachment to get what that me wants. That's what blocks our wisdom. It blocks us from seeing others. It blocks us from seeing clearly how things are. So we need this badly. Full of this wisdom, our own potential. So now we visualize. We imagine that the lotus dissolves up into the moon disk. And then the moon disk dissolves into Manjushri. Then Lama Manjushri. He comes to our crown, sitting above our head. And then he dissolves into orange light. Comes through our crown. And then merges, so we imagine the energy of Manjushri's body, speech, and mind. The energy of our Lama's body, speech, and mind. Merges with our body, speech, and mind. Becoming completely oneness. Union oneness, as Lama Yeshe says. So now for a few minutes, just now imagine, you expand this energy, the energy of the body, speech, and mind of the Lama, the Buddha, and yourself. Same thing. Expands to fill the universe. Completely blissful, completely clear. So just relax, space out, relax in that blissful, joyful expansiveness. No thoughts. Try and imagine, no thoughts. And now we finish with the 4 immeasurable thoughts. Let's make these our aspiration, the aspirations of the Bodhisattva. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings could abide in equanimity, free of attachment, ignorance, and anger. May they abide so. I will make this happen. That's the aspiration of the Bodhisattva. It's my job. I will make this happen. Please, Lama Manjushri, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings could be free of suffering and its causes. May they be free. I will make this happen. Please, Guru Manjushri, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings could have the happiness of enlightenment and its causes. May they have them. I will make this happen. Please, Lama Manjushri, bless me to be able to do this. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings could, were never parted from higher rebirths and liberation's excellent bliss. May they never be parted. I will make this happen. Please, Guru Manjushri, bless me to be able to do this. So for the rest of the day, you think, like the Bodhisattvas, like the Buddhas, practice thinking that your body and speech, you know, we might be seeing too many people these days, but you think that your body and speech is for the sake of others. That's it. That's why you have body and speech. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas don't need bodies and speeches. They only manifest them for our sake. So we think like that. It's for their sake. So even if we meet a few creatures in our house, the mosquitoes or the flies or the mice, our body and speech is for their benefit. Then your mind, which is our own business, that's ours. We watch it like a hawk every second. That's the job of being a Buddhist, seeing the mind more and more clear, more and more bliss, more and more clear and precise, seeing each thought. The components of our mind is thoughts. And there are even the West says there are a thousand a second, just about. Buddha agrees. So it's to see these thoughts, know precisely what they are. This is wisdom, having the ability to discriminate precisely. Each thought, is it a deluded thought or a virtuous thought? That's it. There's only 2 choices. That's the job of being a Buddhist, watching our mind and changing it, adjusting it, reconfiguring all these thoughts. That's the job of being a Buddhist, all the way to having a mind of the Buddha. So in this way, we make every second of the day useful for ourselves and others. Changchob semcho grimpoche, ma ke panam ke gyochig, ke pa nyampa me pa yang, gong ne gong du pelva shog. Gewa di nyududag, lama sangi drubgyone, drowa chikyang malupa, deyi sala gapa shog. And maybe never develop, even for a moment, wrong views about I'll forget the prayer now. Wrong views towards the deeds of our precious lamas, with faith and respect gained from seeing their goodness. May the full inspiration of Guru Manjushri flow into our hearts. Okay, so if you've got time today, you can read about Tsongkhapa, think about, maybe read, if you have, read something about dependent arising. His particular special expertise is all his incredible writings about emptiness and dependent arising. So maybe read about that, think about it, aspire to achieve it. That's it, everybody. Much love. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.